Welcome to Truckee Talks. I'm your host, Maya Schneider, and it's my pleasure to bring you this week the couple that makes the 4th of July parade happen. We'll start off the show with Pettie Lesser. Pettie, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me back this year.
4th of July coming right around the corner.
Yep, I can feel the heat of it.
Well, what I'm going to disclose right off the top of the bat is that you and your husband Hartley are also our crew here on Channel 6, so we'll be sending you back and forth to run the cameras as well as answer questions.
Multitasking here.
That's right. Well, welcome. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And we're talking about this year's 4th of July parade, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it always is.
But let's go back and start at the beginning when you and Hartley first got involved. Now, you have been doing this parade for a number of years.
This will be our 5th year.
That's a long time to organize an event of this size.
Especially when it started after we'd only been here for 3 months. We were new to the community and joined a business group, and somebody in the business group said, hey, we need somebody to do the 4th of July parade. Why don't you guys do it? We thought it was hilarious. You know, right, we've never even seen the parade. How can we do one? And it turned out that we did it, and because we have a timeline and, you know, a lot of very helpful people, the process is pretty easy, and there's a lot to do at the very last minute, but it's something that we did year after year, and we were going to give it up after the 4th year, and we were very embarrassed that we missed, my fault, we missed an event in which we won an award for being volunteers, and so we felt obligated to sign up
again. Oh, they guilted you into it one
exactly.
more year.
Yes,
Well, you really did hit the ground running when you came to Truckee.
Oh, yeah. But you see, working out of our home, we really didn't know the community that well, so it was a wonderful opportunity to get to really know people, and everybody that I called and asked for a service or a favor, everybody said sure. So I really learned what a wonderful place it is.
Yeah, it's really how Truckee works,
yes.
is people just put their hands up and say, of course I'll do that.
Exactly.
What is it that you and Hartley do out of your home? What kind of work is it that you do?
Well, we're kind of freelancers. I'm working for a public relations company. I just have a contract right now, and Hartley is injured right now, but he's also has another part-time job, and he's doing some work for the Reno Gazette-Journal.
And of course you're a freelance artist as well.
Right. Yeah, that's way back there. I haven't been able to do that in a little while.
But it's still back there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about parades past. We've got some clips we're going to be showing the audience tonight, but I thought it would be fun to revisit with you. What are some of your favorite entries, if you can do this, in the parade, and what have been some of the challenges for you of putting this together?
Okay. Well, some of the events, you're going to be showing them, but I can tell you right off that the most challenging thing is the night before when we have to chalk out the middle school. That for the past couple of years it was exclusively Hartley and me with knee pads and big pieces of chalk. And
yeah, what people don't realize here is what you're doing is going to the parking lot and laying out where the staging area is.
Exactly, and we try to frame each particular person or group and then write in it what they are, or at least their number, and that's a lot of work. I mean, it takes you all the way around the middle school, back to the portables, and back all the way around again through the basketball courts.
So Harry Gordon with his Porsche for the Grand Marshal takes a smaller space than the fire truck behind.
That's right.
And you really are literally chalking this out to the size of the entrance.
Trying to.
There's a job.
But there's always surprises. Yeah, that's right. We had a fire truck show up unexpected, and that's fine. Just go over there, you know, in the dirt area, and we'll tell you when to pull out. So.
Well, let's show a clip right now. I know Fletch has a clip lined up, and this is Jim Simon, who was the MC last year. I believe he'll be the MC this year.
He is forever the MC. He's wonderful.
Very, very funny man. Let's see Jim now.
A whole new program for you this year. The local television station, the Truckee Tahoe Community Television Station, is broadcasting this entire parade live by satellite across the western United States and Hawaii, I'm told. So we are now national and sort of international, if you consider the Pacific. Yeah. There you go. The parade will begin at exactly 10 o'clock. It's now 10:05. And of course, the Truckee Firecracker Mile Race has probably already begun. Because of some radio difficulties, we're not quite sure. So those of you at the far west side of the parade route, please give me a signal of some kind.
Well, that's a lot of fun.
Oh yes, he is so quick.
He is so quick-witted. It's
Yes.
almost dangerous being close to him, taping the parade and the booth right next to him. And I didn't want him to see me because I knew the lines would be coming fast and furious.
He really loves to give everybody.
Well, he does such a great job. But of course, you have announcers along the parade route. Jim is downtown.
Right, and Don Castler traditionally has done it out of Century 21, and then Gary at the deli that's right there at Gateway usually does his version there too.
Now, let's walk through the parade just briefly for somebody who's new to Truckee, who's never seen it before. What are they going to see when they get down to Donner Pass Road?
Thank you for asking. We always have our color guards first, and they're the Civil Air Patrol. Again this year, a very nice group of young people, very patriotic. And I spoke to the person, the adult that's in charge of them, and that would be, excuse me for looking, Bob Todd. And I asked him if we could expect any surprises this year like we did last year when a C-20 flew over, did a low fly.
Yes.
And he said, hopefully there'll be a surprise, but I can't make any promises. So,
well, that's the nature of a surprise.
that's exactly it. So I said, that's all I needed to know. And then after them, we have our fire departments and Smokey the Bear and the Sierra Highland Pipers. And then I think that's when the Grand Marshals come along. And this year we're actually having two. And of course, like you said, Harry Gordon has been nice enough to let us use his 1957 Porsche Speedster. And we'll have Kevin Bramble and Jennifer Kelchner. Now these two, it's a really neat story. Not only are they medal winners, but they're also boyfriend and girlfriend. And he took first place in the Paralympics in this last year at Salt Lake City, and she took a bronze. She actually took first place, but because of the way that they factor it due to her
level of disability.
Exactly, thank you. Then they gave her a bronze. But she did get a gold in Nagamo in 1998.
Well, this is exciting stuff. And,
Yeah.
they're going to be the Grand Marshals.
A double Grand Marshal.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
That's great
yeah.
fun. Well, last year it was Darren Ralphs, of course,
Yes.
local sports hero, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun having him as the Grand Marshal.
And then when we watched the Olympics this year, we felt like we were just, you know, such good friends, even though we only just met him on the 4th of July.
That's right. There's my best friend in the world,
That's
Darren
right.
Ralphs.
Yeah, I know him.
I think if he and I were stuck in an elevator alone, he wouldn't be able to identify
I
me.
think
So,
he would. Maybe without
well, being
your
stuck
costume.
in an elevator with Darren Ralphs, well, that's another story.
There you go.
Well, what have been some of the challenges of putting together the 4th of July parade? The chalking, you mentioned that.
Right, and it's a timeline that you go through, and then there are tasks to be done on different days, and ever so often you have to make sure that you're not letting something fall through the cracks.
Right.
But we have, like I said, wonderful people that volunteer their time and their products, and Hartley will fill you in on some of those nice people. And it's a mad scramble at the last, and we do need people, and we need people to help at the staging area, which is a lot of fun, and that's just the one day in the morning, and then, or crowd control, and we've never had enough people to help with the, and this year it will be the police department, to assist with the crowd control. So it would really be nice if we had a couple more volunteers that could, they get to stand right, you know, alongside the barricade, get a really good
Ringside
view.
seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to make sure that that's, you know, a car that's coming along doesn't inadvertently try to get into the parade or something.
Well, I know one of the issues that's been talked about in years past is the horses and little kids,
Right.
and cars and little kids. And oftentimes children will want to dart out in the street. So maybe this is a
Yeah.
good opportunity to remind families
Right.
to please keep their children at the side of the road and not
Thank
let
you.
them run into the middle of the road.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's the other hard part. You just reminded me of something. Everybody wants to be at the front of the parade.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. I take into consideration that we have Model A's, and they're very old cars. We also have dogs. We have those wonderful Bernese Mountain Dogs.
Oh,
they
right.
get overheated.
Yes.
And we've got little kids, and the ones that aren't on floats who are walking, they get overheated. So
Dogs and kids and
I know.
Model A's are all subject to overheating.
Oh my. Right. So that's the hard part, is trying to keep everybody happy and trying to realize who gets to really go first and
Yeah.
be more towards the front.
Well, so there's a lot of juggling that goes on with this. Well, we're going to be
Definitely.
talking with Hartley in the next segment about volunteers and who to contact. bring that up right now. You do need bodies on
Yes.
the 4th of July.
Yes.
The parade is a hoot. It's a lot of fun. I've worked something for the 4th of July every year that I've
know
lived
you
in this
have.
town, and it's a lot of fun to do it. So if somebody wanted to volunteer, how would they get a hold of you?
If they'd be nice enough to call the Chamber of Commerce at 587-2757, and Ruth Garrison is our liaison. At least she's been very, very helpful, but anybody that's there would be very helpful as well.
Right.
And we do appreciate that.
So contact that great staff at
And
the
if
Truckee
they
Donner Chamber.
volunteer, this is last year's T-shirt. They get a lovely T-shirt, but on the side it's a limited version because it says volunteer. So people really think that that's pretty super that they get to have a shirt that says volunteer on the side.
Or as my boyfriend would say, well, you can just put do-gooder there. Let it say that instead.
I guess he doesn't see you very often.
Right, exactly. Well, that's great. So they get a
Thank you.
T-shirt and they get a satisfaction of a job well done.
Right.
And the parade starts at 10 in the morning. It's over by noon.
Usually is, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
last year we had 63 different groups, so it went on a little past that, but we've tried to keep it just down to that fine-tuned time.
Well, and of course, we can't count on Hartley and Pettie for this year, but TTC TV will be back at the parade this
Oh,
year,
wonderful.
taping the show. That shouldn't preclude anybody that's able-bodied from getting down to the parade and watching it, but we will have it
Thank
on
you.
Channel 6.
Jack Davis with you?
Jack Davis will be with me, my co-host extraordinaire.
Excellent.
So that
and
will be fun.
Costumes this year?
We're not telling.
Okay. Like
There's
the
always
other-
a good
The
few
Civil Air Patrol will
surprises.
be a surprise.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. It'll be a surprise to Jack and I at this point.
Oh.
Well, let's get one more clip. I know that Peter's been working on putting together some clips for us from the 4th of July parade. So let's take a look at another clip. And Patty, maybe you and I can walk through this one
Sure.
with the audience. We'll get this
Glad
queued
to.
up. Oh, well, this is a favorite.
Always the fire trucks and always the Truckee Fire Department first, except that's Donner Summit.
Well, this one is a fun clip. We wanted to show that up, and I'm not sure if we'll get to see that here. But what makes this one so much fun is the Chinese fire drill
There you go.
that they did when they got downtown.
And that's a long run around the back.
That was really fun. They had everybody in the audience really clapping and applauding them for that.
Did they have to put their seatbelts back on?
Well,
when
and
they
he
got in?
did too, which I was very impressed. I think his
Yeah.
battalion chief must have been very excited to see that. Actually get that on there. They've got little kids.
Yeah.
And all of the local fire departments are represented. You see North
Yes.
Star, you see SQA, you see
Donner-
Truckee Fire and Donner Summit.
Right. All, like you said, all the Forest Services. Oh, and there's our Prosser Dam Posse. This is their 17th year in the parade, Maya.
Oh my gosh. Now
Yeah.
there's Peter Katita. Now he makes his saddles by hand.
I didn't know that.
See, there's something to learn in
I'll
every
have to
parade.
put that in for Jim Simon to read.
That's right. Well, who knows what Jim will do with that information.
I'm
Now
sure.
we've got the VFW here.
Yes, now I don't know if they're going to be in this year. We don't have a form from them yet, but I'm certainly hoping so.
Well, let's put a little pressure on them right now.
Why don't
Dennis
we
Cook,
do
are you
that?
listening?
Yeah.
You need to be in the parade this year.
And then the wonderful Civil Air Patrol.
Boy, those kids are something, aren't they?
Amazing. So polite. and-
Yeah, they really are. They're great kids and they do a great job. We've had them do color guard for various town council events,
Yes.
and they're very impressive.
Yes, they are.
And of course, somebody in the end sort of scooting it up,
Right.
keeping it moving.
Associate. Oh, that was, yeah, the VFW people still.
Now, really, that's the way to be in a parade, is in
I
the
think
lawn chair in
so.
the back.
I do, and a nice cold adult beverage maybe.
Yes,
or
you
something.
can. Yes, that's right. Now, speaking of beverages, Patty, a number of people come down to the parade with picnic baskets and sit by the side
Mm-hmm.
with their own coolers. What do you recommend for that?
Well, we certainly recommend keep hydrated and sunscreen. And I do believe that it's, last year was the the brownies, and this year the Girl Scouts are going to be selling water, so that should help in that end. But
So there'll be some places to buy things, but you
Right.
should come downtown or wherever you're going to watch. Now, we should mention again, for folks that don't know this, the parade route starts at the middle school
at
on
the
Donner
middle
Pass
school,
Road.
right, and goes down in front of Mountain Hardware, Safeway, the Gateway Center, goes under the overpass and past the round, and then down into Old Truckee.
And it terminates pretty much at the Truckee Hotel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the judges will be. Now, oh, you can't be a judge this
I
year.
can't be a judge
That's
this year.
right.
Thank goodness for that. So 4th of July parade, if it comes as any surprise to you, it shouldn't. It's on the 4th of July,
Thursday.
10 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes.
If you are planning on traveling around that day, please keep in mind that Donner Pass Road will be shut down to traffic for
Thank
the
you.
parade.
Right.
And get there early, get a good seat, There's lots of popular spots, I notice.
Oh yes, some families said it was quite traditional to be where they were. They've hollered out at us from year to year. And they said,
This is where we are.
spot."
This is the Smith family spot right
Exactly.
here. Wild Cherries is really popular. A lot of
yes.
people there go
Yes.
get their
Well,
coffee
yeah,
and
yeah.
watch. Mountain Hardware and Safeway, the lawn in front of Safeway.
Right.
There's different enclaves watching
yeah.
the parade.
Oh yeah.
Well, Patty, I want to thank you so much for everything that you and Hartley are doing to put this
Oh.
parade together.
Thanks for letting us come in and talk about
It's
it.
going to be a fun day, I know it.
Yes, it just so it doesn't snow.
Yeah, it could. It's happened
I've
before.
heard it has.
Well, we'll be back in just a minute with Hartley Lesser. We'll wrap up this information on the Truckee 4th of July parade. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Truckee Talks. We're talking about the Truckee 4th of July parade. It is right around the corner. I thought we were just talking about ski updates a few weeks ago.
I think we were.
Hartley Lesser, nice to have you on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Hartley, you and Patty as a couple have done more things to volunteer in this community since your feet hit the ground, but certainly the 4th of July has been the big one for you.
Yeah, it has.
That's a lot of work.
But the town of Truckee is worth it.
Yeah.
Where we used to live before, there was not that sense of community that you have here. And you know, if you consider the variety of people that now reside in Truckee that come to visit on the 4th of July, what a tremendous way to demonstrate your support not only for our town but also for our great nation. This is a wonderful opportunity to do that, to support the United States.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, Hartley, because this is a special year for 4th of July celebrations across America.
Sure is.
After the events of last September, there's been a shift. And talk a little bit, if you will, about the theme for this year's 4th of July parade and how you got to that.
Well, it was a demonstrate our support for the trials and tribulations our country has gone through and is currently confronting. The theme is to reveal the way we will support our country in the future as we attempt to fight terrorism, to support the local communities with whatever is needed in our ongoing fight. This is not an easy time for anybody, and this is a fantastic way to perhaps relieve some of that pressure, to show your patriotism without being maudlin. I mean, this is a fun time.
It is a fun time.
You know? It's
It
a wonderful
is.
way to do it.
I don't think I've ever been to a 4th of July parade that rivals in any way, shape, or form the Truckee 4th of July parade, because it has all the right elements. It has the hometown spirit, it has people that you know, it has fire trucks, it has, you know, it has great stuff. It has the traditional stuff and it has the quirky stuff.
Sure does.
I think you know one of my favorite entrants is the precision the precision drill team. These guys in their shorts and Sorel boots and Hawaiian shirts doing precision movements with skis and
It's
ski
amazing.
It's amazing what they get done. And
You'd
it's so Truckee.
you'd swear they practiced for months beforehand.
But they got up, hung over that
That's right.
morning, and managed to somehow pull themselves together and
It's just
get
fun.
it done. It is fun, and we give Bill Palmer kudos for that. I'm
certainly
giving
do.
him some rough time here.
Absolutely.
Tell us what it's like been putting together this year's 4th of July parade. I've been talking with Patty about history, but let's talk about this year. What's going on and what do you still need?
Well, we still need volunteers. One of the things that is very important is to have enough people, not only the evening before, as Patty indicated, for the chalking out at the Sierra Middle School, but to also help monitor the parade. You may recall last year, after the fire trucks, there was perhaps a 20-minute gap.
Yeah, there was
And so
a
there's a
bit
lot
of
of
a
ad
breathing
libbing
room.
by you and Jack, you know. But what happens is we need people to help keep the parade moving along.
Right.
Additionally, these people who are also going to be helping with the traffic control, for example, if somebody gets heat stroke, we need to have somebody right then and there that can contact a nearby officer and request assistance without stopping the parade. We can get them off the route. There's a lot of little safety things we have to think about, such as don't throw 40-pound hard candies at the crowds as you
Right.
pass by in your float. You know, the last thing you need is to have a little kid with a Tootsie Roll sticking out their forehead falling over onto the sidewalk.
Well, okay, so now here's a question, and this may inspire as much debate as leash laws and land use in Truckee. But what is the rule about throwing candy from your 4th of July parade float?
Don't.
Okay. All right.
don't.
It's been put out there by the organizers. Now you know. Please don't throw anything into the crowd.
They can
and there's
hand
good
the
reason
stuff.
for
Yeah,
that.
there is. It's a real safety problem. I mean, even the smallest of candies, if thrown with enough velocity, could put somebody's eye out.
Yes.
You know, and we don't.
Just like your mother said.
That's exactly
Don't
right. It's
put
not a BB
anybody's eye
gun,
out.
but it could be a little Rolo or something.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so you have to be careful.
So there's all the safety considerations that the rest of us don't really think about. We're watching the parade, enjoying it, and you're managing the background details. Now, the chalking out of the middle school seems to me something that if somebody had other plans for 4th of July or really didn't want to be working, could come down the night before and help out with that.
Oh, they certainly could.
And wouldn't they be your best friend
They'd
for
be
the
our
night?
best buddies for the night.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chalking involved. When we have the Corvettes, you know, there's almost 30 to 35 cars.
That's a lot of space.
That's a lot of
right
space.
there.
And
Yes.
we have to also make sure that the numbering system that we use in the parking lot is visible so everybody knows exactly who they follow.
Right.
Again, one of the problems last year was somebody didn't pay attention to their numbering, and so we had another gap. But this year we're going to try to prevent that from happening by having more volunteers to assist with the parade management.
Well, who knew there was so much behind the 4th
Oh,
of
it's
July?
just flabbergasting.
Okay, Hartley, I didn't ask Patty, but I'll ask you. This is your 5th year. What
Yes.
about year number 6?
I'm going to sign up in the U.S. Army first.
Well, with the
that'll be
cane
it.
you're walking
That's
around with,
right.
I think that won't be very likely. So.
That's true.
Well, you've done a great job. One of the things that I wanted to mention is the bagpipe group. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
The Sierra Highlanders have been the professional Scottish piping band that we've had follow the color guard every year in the parade since we took over. They're based in Nevada. They've won several awards for their piping. And this year we have an unnamed benefactor who is going to be taking care of the expense of bringing them into the parade, for which we're very thankful, Patty and I are.
Well, let me go back to that, because for the first 4 years, you and Patty were the benefactors. You sponsored the bagpipes.
Yeah, I think I believe it was in year 4 we had half help,
All right.
which was very nice.
All right. Well, we should thank you on behalf
So-
of the community for that, because having those bagpipers in the parade is really
They're
special.
pretty good, aren't they?
They are. They are. Between the bagpipers and Jim Simon, it's a
Oh,
toss-up.
you can't lose.
You know,
Can't lose.
it's true.
It should
It's
be
a
a
winning
Cinerama
proposition.
movie, you know.
Again, if you need volunteers, if you want to volunteer for the Truckee 4th of July parade, you can contact Hartley and Pettie Lesser through the Truckee Donner Chamber of Commerce, and their number is 587-2757, or you can go to the website truckee.com. And
Very true.
it would be great to have some help for this.
Would it be possible also to give our thanks to a few folk that have
Please
already
do.
helped us out?
Please do.
Volunteers who've definitely generously given of their time. Sutton Paving. Without their barricades, God knows what would happen. Troy Ashton at Truckee Communications, who's providing the portable radios for us for the golf cart monitoring of the parade. Ken John Whitney of Event Masters, as usual. Steve Stevenson at Truckee Tahoe Lumber. And Plumas Bank, also for being a parade sponsor this year.
Well, Plumas Bank is really stepping up in this
They are.
community. They're
They
a
really are.
recent addition, but they've really come up to the plate.
They really have.
Oh, good for them. And we should also mention on behalf of TTC TV that the Rock Garden is donating a truck for us to be, once again, broadcasting the parade.
Cool.
So thank you to the Rock Garden and Brian Marsh for that. Also, we want to thank the town of Truckee because their Public Works Department is lending us safety cones and tape, and all of
Yeah.
that makes a huge difference, as well as, of course, the Truckee Donner Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a fantastic parade, probably the best parade ever.
You've heard it here. That's a
Oh.
real scoop for Truckee Talk. So again, that's Thursday, the 4th of July. The parade runs from the middle school on Donner Pass Road all the way downtown to the Truckee Hotel. Find a spot early in the morning. Remember to bring your sunscreen. Remember to bring lots of things to drink. And remember to bring garbage bags to put your garbage in at the end of the parade.
Oh, that would be so great. Yep.
Hartley, thank you.
Our pleasure.
And thank Patty and the work. Really looking forward to this year's parade.
So we
All right.
thank you very much.
Well, I'll see you down there.
I hope so.
All right, and we hope that we'll see you down there as well. I'll be back in just a minute with upcoming events for the region, so stay tuned. Welcome back to Truckee Talks, and now it's time to tell you about upcoming events in and around our region. Now, this is starting for the week of June 19th, and summer is here, so get your notepads and pencils because this is a long list. The Summer Solstice Art Auction and Wine Tasting is presented by the Tahoe Arts Festival, and it will be held at the Tahoe Biltmore on Friday, June 21st at 7 p.m. Tickets at the door are $25 per person and $40 per couple. This event kicks off the North Tahoe Arts Festival to run the weekend of the 21st through the 23rd, also at the Biltmore. 583-5605 for more information. Also on June 21st is the first annual summer kickoff party at North Star. Celebrate the longest day of the year on the deck of the Martis Valley Grill. That's on the golf course, folks. from 4 p.m. until 7. Festivities include DJ music, food and drink specials, and prizes. Call North Star at 562-2281 for more information. Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, June 23rd is the American Historic Racing Motorcycle Association Speed and Sport Trials at, where else? Donner Ski Ranch. Saturday sign-up is 8:30 in the morning with a start time of 11. Sunday is 8 a.m. with a start time of 10. Call the ranch for more information, 426-3635. Also Saturday, June 22nd is the 14th Annual Beer and Music Festival at North Star. Featuring live Cajun music, food, and a plethora of breweries, the fun begins at 2:30 in the afternoon and continues until 6:30. Kenny Menard and the Mardi Gras Zydeco Band will be playing, and you can bet I'll be there, two-stepping and catching beads. Tickets are $20 in advance at the North Lake Tahoe Resort Association, Truckee Donner Chamber of Commerce, or North Star, or $25 at the door. Kids 11 and under are free, but they don't get any beer. And would you believe it's already time for the Western States 100? This 100-mile endurance run will take place Saturday, June 22nd and Sunday, June 23rd. This run stretches from Squaw Valley, USA to Auburn, and no, it's not downhill all the way. For the strong of will and knee, call Squaw Valley at 583-6985. Sunday, June 23rd, Project Mana is presenting its 3rd annual wine and tasting and silent auction. This year's event will be held at Plumpjacks in Squaw Valley and features hors d'oeuvres, entertainment, and fine wines. Tickets for this benefit are $25 per person, $40 per couple, and may be purchased at the Truckee Donner Chamber of Commerce. For information, call Project Mana at 546-2416. June 23rd, the Air Affair returns at the Truckee Tahoe Airport. This is a very fun fundraiser, and it benefits the Youth Scholarships programs, featuring a dinner dance, barbecue, swing music, silent auction, military planes. For information, call 587-0565. And speaking of airports, the Young Eagles fly at Truckee on Saturday, June 29th. Youngsters and would-be pilots ages 8 through 17 are invited to the Truckee Tahoe Airport to meet pilots, see the aircraft, participate in ground school class, and experience the thrill of a flight over Truckee and Tahoe. 8 in the morning until 11, weather permitting, at the airport. For information, call Charlie White at 587-4811. And speaking of flying, the United States Air Force Band of the Golden West is playing at Truckee Regional Park on Saturday, June 29th at 6 p.m. This is a great, fun family event and will be jam-packed with patriotic music, and it's free. Bring your low-back lawn chairs, a picnic dinner, and remember to thank the local chapter of the AAUW for sponsoring this terrific evening. It's really a great night. The 3rd annual Best of Tahoe Chefs Dinner is coming to the resort at Squaw Creek on Sunday, June 30th. This event is a benefit for Tahoe Forest Hospital, all of their programs, community wellness, hospice, and including cancer education and support. This is a wonderful event. This is a 4-course dinner prepared by some of the area's top chefs, including Douglas Dale, Mark Esty, Billy McCullough, Gary Bulmer, and more. There will be live music, wonderful food, and dancing after. Tickets are $70 per person or $130 per individual and may be purchased over the phone by calling 1-800-3-CREEK-3. Again, that's Sunday, June 30th at 6 p.m. for the Best of Tahoe Chef's Dinner, and if you're really lucky, Sweet will be there making his sweet potato pie for you. That's it for this week. We want to thank Sweet for coming back to the crew. Thank you very much to Hartley and Pettie Lesser for being on today's show. And remember that you can call the TTC TV studios at 582-1194 if you have an event you'd like us to mention on the show. We'll see you next week on Truckee Talks, and we'll see you at the 4th of July parade.